Well, I've got to say, this has probably been among two of the most enjoyable and fulfilling months we've had in this save. We've played excellent football, we've been aggressive, and we've been winning games. I'm not sure our defensive signings have improved that side of the game so much, but today we come back, as we said, for the two biggest possible challenges, and at the moment, that's where things could all fall apart. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 84 of Saving Southend with me, Daniel. We are back today to go to Manchester City and Bayern Munich. Two of the toughest tests we'll probably face in this save. City haven't had the best of starts, but they are the Premier League champions. And Bayern Munich, the club we're managing in the head coach, well, their squad's a little bit stronger in this save. If you're looking forward to seeing how we get on in both of those, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. And Esto Valverde is in the house today, and after a great run of form, I'm a little bit upset we've got these two games back to back because a couple of defeats in a row can destroy morale in FM, and having a team that's performing so brilliantly, I really don't want it to end. Yes, largely we've had a favourable run of fixtures, we've snuck draws in a couple of the others, we've also had some really big moments, and on the attack, we look like an unbelievable team. So before we go and get into those two games, let's have a look at what's been happening in the schedule. We're up to fourth in the Premier League after two unbeaten months. You were with me for a brilliant win against Chelsea, which started the league run. And that was in a pretty poor performance, to be fair, wasn't it? Since then, though, goals galore, both ends of the pitch, that is. Just two clean sheets, four scored in every game for the rest of September, and plenty scored this month as well. But we're finding the defensive side of the game a little bit tricky still. We have actually got a better run of Premier League games coming up, but it's amongst all of the chaos with a Carabao Cup quarter-final, loads of Champions League football, etc. But we're unbeaten in the Champions League. We're doing what we did in our first Europa season, and we're really starting to look good on the front foot. Against Sturm Graz, we won by 4-0. Mauricio got a hat-trick and Sam Ammo added a late fourth. We did get to rotate for that game, and Sturm Graz, not a great side. A really great draw for us in our first Champions League season. A 4-4 draw away at Liverpool. Arguably one of the strangest games I've managed in this save because we were 1-1 at half-time after Ivanov put us level, and it was a pretty even game. Liverpool came out after half-time and destroyed us. Just 3 goals, quick fire from 3 attacks. 2 for Marconi and 1 for Sobozai, who's still going strong. Then we made subs, went a bit more attacking, and it went crazy the other way. Teddy Ivanov got one back. Sam Ammo added a third, and then Mauricio, the sub, scored in the last minute of stoppage time to make it 4 goals apiece. Just crazy. 4-3 away at PSV was not far off in terms of craziness. We were 3-1 down in that game, I think. 3-2, in fact, no, as we equalised with Joaquin Jimenez, then conceded a third immediately. Joe Wills completed a brace in the 89th minute, and then I time wasted because I was happy with the point, and Teddy Ivanov still went and scored a winner off the bench at the other end. A few changes in that game, but a brilliant result. Just so thrilled with the spirit being shown, and so devastated with the defending. Against Aston Villa, we won by 4-3 again. I thought we were getting done by the Jose Mourinho special. Every time we scored, they scored, and then on the stroke of half-time, they went 3-2 up. But an own goal and a Teddy Ivanov special again gave us a 4-3 victory despite a late consolation. The ridiculous 4-week international break followed, and then we played Wolves away from home. We were pegged back almost immediately after scoring in this one with Joe Wills, but then around a half an hour mark, João Pedro missed a penalty. Then he went off injured with embarrassment. Teddy Ivanov got the winner for us late in the first half. We actually defended all right in the second half of that game. We also did well at home to AC Milan. We were the dominant side there, surprisingly. Joe Wills picked up an early knock though, and we just didn't have the threat after that. It was a 0-0 draw. It was a classic Italian away performance. 7 points from 3 games. I really can't complain. At home to Spurs, a 4-2 victory, a brilliant performance. 2-2 at the break, but again, we finished games so strong. In this one, Yukulano got injured. He's still out today. But look what happens. Takatsuka comes in, pegs it back to 3-2. Mauricio with another goal off the bench. And he's pushing to become a starter in that front two now. Maybe it is time that we sell Joe Wills, who's also been out injured. Nice moment for De Angelis there, the deadline day signing. I and ahed about him, but he's improving already. He scored his first goal for the club, and Teddy Ivanov got another. The other left back came in though and reminded us what he can do in the Carabao Cup. We rotated fully for this one because I want my first team for the next 2 games ideally. I might yet gamble against Bayern, I haven't decided. But looking at this one, a really good performance. Cameron Ishmael gave us a lead with a great goal. Then Teddy Ivanov in the second half, off the bench to save the day. I brought him and Adamson on, and they set up and scored the goal that won the match. So good decision making there. And we managed to rest most people, which was great. So we're in really good form. The dynamics couldn't be that much better. Jude Sadler's not happy. Bernberg wants a new deal. But otherwise, there's not a great deal. We've had a lot more over our time. Kamara unhappy he's out the Champions League squad, but we were trying to loan him out. And there's only so many spots we've got. But going back to the 2 players that we're going to leave on deadline day, Fernando Fernandes has agreed his deal to go back to Brazil. But he doesn't go through till January. So he actually played off the bench in that League Cup tie and might yet feature before the end of this calendar year. And then the other one that we had was David Mira. He has now gone on loan to Bodo Glimt, where he's playing pretty well. He's improving a bit and might come back a better player. Who knows? Let's get through to the 2 matches though, because the big action today is, can we keep the unbeaten run going against 2 brilliant sides? Or will it all go wrong now? Now, I've got a feeling that it might start to slip up a little. But we have got an easier run of fixtures again. And I'm trying to show you the harder games on camera because they're normally the more entertaining ones. I know we've got that Carabao Cup quarter-final to look forward to against the Chelsea side we've beaten already against the run of play this year. I'm just hoping that we can get this one done in the Premier League. I don't mind resting people in midweek. With 7 points in the Champions League and Besiktas to come at home, Dinamo Kiev to come as well. Dinamo are bottom. They've got the worst goal difference by a mile. And Besiktas are bottom on 0 points. We beat them 8-0 in the Europa last year in that bonkers game. I think we'll get through regardless. So if we have to rest against Bayern, so be it. For now, let's get through to Manchester City away and go full throttle with our first 11. Lots of changes to be made from the Carabao Cup tie in the week. Haaland still going strong. Ryan Shirky and Asprilla in that squad. They've got Callum Doyle as well. Gavardio still there. And a fair few good young players as well. So let's get our team picked. We'll be back in a minute to run through it as we go away to the Etihad and hope we can make something special happen to continue our unbeaten run. Well, there's one big injury boost going into today's game as Joe Wills is back and among the front 2. Not that he's been that frequent a goal scorer this year since the opening weeks. Jude Sadler still unhappy in goal. I wonder if that's affecting our form at all. And of course, we've got 2 new defenders in the back 4. We can't expect to be brilliant straight away. We have got Ukulano out on the right wing, so Takat Zucut continues over there. Adamson starting to improve now, so we'll start. And we're also without De Angelis, who should be back for midweek. So this is the 11 we've gone for in full, with Jude Sadler in goal. Ishmael and Memic the fullbacks, with O'Day and Herbert centre half. Takat Zucut and Adamson the wingers. Bernberg and Jimenez in central midfield. Then Wills and Ivanov the 2 up front, with a fairly strong bench behind it. Let's go and get through to City away. The toughest game we could probably have against the champions. I know United have started strong, but this team is top class. And Erling Haaland, after 7 or 8 quiet years, has had 2 brilliant ones at the top end of the pitch. They've still got Phil Foden on the bench, albeit just starting to age a bit now. And then Inacio, pretty similar to that. But they've got, again, a perfect balance of 5 or 6 players at that sort of 30 age who are in their peak. And then 3 or 4 young players who are brilliant. So let's see how they get on in this one. We're going to ask the lads to prove a point. Bernberg is nervous, which is not ideal. Get out there and make a difference. No reaction. Great to see. Through the tunnel interview we go into the first half. It's all out attack against City. Or will it lead to another thriller? Let's go and find out. Well, 9 minutes on the clock. The first highlight is a Southend corner. And big Lewis Herbert was up at the back stick. Adamson's delivery is good. But the header not so much. Over the bar. First chance of the game though. We are the late kickoff in this one, so we know how everyone else has got on. And Stuart Atwell's the referee. Can't be having a Luton fan in charge, can we? God, what a ridiculous week it's been. 25 minutes gone, 0-0 here. Manchester City, as you would expect, dominating the possession. They've not really looked like scoring yet, which I'm sure are famous last words, because right as I say it, here comes the highlight. They're on the attack with Asprilla and Shirky. Player we managed in last year's head coach. Back to Fapetu. In the centre circle, City have got everyone forward, still playing with those inverted fullbacks, even though Pep's long gone. And Ivanov's header there is pretty poor. Gramoso nicks it. We're a massive threat on the counter, but defensively, We struggle to soak up these periods, and that ball must be offside for Haaland. It goes in the back of the net. You would expect nothing else from him, but I'm pretty sure that was off. He looked it from the initial pass. The flag does go up, and I'm expecting the referee's hand to as well. It does. 10 minutes to the break. We survived that one. A first warning sign from City. Only one shot on target apiece, though. Well, half-time, 0-0, and a very good defensive effort so far, which feels a bit weird for me to say that. Why, when I turn up for these games, do we suddenly lose all of the entertainment? I know we're playing a bit differently against the City side that keep the ball more, but I was still expecting a 3-2 or a 4-3 or something bonkers. Might yet happen. We do score a lot of late goals. We concede a lot, period. As Shirky gets the ball on the left, into the box. It's through to Haaland. There you go. It took 1 minute and 17 seconds of the second half. And we are back to normal service. City get the opening goal, but can we get our late ones as usual? Well, according to the graphics there, since the goal, we've had a little bit of match momentum. As we approach the hour mark, I'm not overly concerned because we always score late goals, but we don't often only concede one, as you've seen. So with Haaland over a free kick 30 yards out now, we do have to be a bit worried. We're going to think about changes soon. Takatsuka's not having a great game on the right. But again, with Yukalano out, we haven't got many choices there. Takatsuka gives the ball away right on cue. I think he'll be first off. He's a very good impact player, but he's not often brilliant from the start. As Doyle goes wide, we could be 2 down before he comes off. Haaland's in. Is he offside again? Doesn't matter. Ishmael does fantastically there. Out for a corner kick. We've encouraged the lads. We've got the morale up again. Does that make the difference in the final stages here? Shirky gets the ball in. Bernberg away. Joe Wills can chase this. He's got space to run into. This is where we're a threat because we commit men forward. But Wills can't find the pass. Ramoso gives it to Espria and it's all City. But Adamson, the youngster, wins it back for Bernberg and Herbert. Bernberg finds Wills. We've got 2 world-class strikers which can change any game. Jimenez to O'Day. Forward to Takatsuka. Do not give it away again. Turns down the right. Finds Memic. The new boys had a decent game today, actually, as O'Day finds Memic, and now Jimenez and Takatsuka. Now run. Good through ball to Ivanov. Right back's played him on. Teddy Ivanov has made it 1-1, and Takatsuka sets it up after all of that. We love late goals. The second half, we just come to life, and Teddy Ivanov is very much the prime candidate when it comes to a late goal scorer. We've got 15 to go now. We are going to encourage the lads because the morale's dipped a little bit. And we're now going to make subs for some of these tired legs because up front, both are struggling. So Mauricio is on for Wills. I'm also going to take off Adamson, who's not had a great game. Might do both out wide, actually. Tell you what we're going to do. Bernberg will switch with Jimenez and he'll be replaced by Berek. We're going to go for Sam Ammo on the right-hand side, which is unusual. Adamson replaced by Valdo Kamara, who's barely kicked a ball in the Premier League. We've then got 1 sub remaining in case of injury or whatever else, because we do need to be quite careful with that. We've got a pending change and we've got a highlight. I think we know where this is going. I always hate when it comes back for one when a change is pending, as Foden's off the bench, not got the legs anymore, but can still unlock that door, though Adamson's nicked it. And off we go down the left, up towards Joe Wills. About to come off, finds Ivanov, but was he onside? No, he wasn't. He puts it wide anyway. But you can see late on in games where teams tire, we've just got that ability to stretch them. As Ishmael's got it at the back now for Herbert, and he punts it forward towards a big front two. Inacio, the experienced sub, wins it though. Haaland turns his man. That's brilliant. As is that from Jude Sadler. Wonderful save by the goalkeeper. And we get away with it again as Shirky takes a short corner to Foden. Ball back to the edge. We've been done by the routine. Oh, I thought that was a penalty so badly. But we've got away with it. There's 7 to go. Do I take off Ishmael or Bernberg? I think it's going to be Bernberg. Replaced by Alfie Harrison, the former City youth man. Fresh legs in the middle. And if we get to the 90th minute, I'll time waste. Because 1-1 here would be a fabulous result. And we've managed to get to that point as well. So let's get the fullbacks on defend. Let's tuck in and support them. We're going to go support duty for Sam Ammo. Harrison will be a deep line playmaker on support. Suits him better anyway. I could have even switched the fullbacks, but I'm not going to do that. What I will do is time waste all the time. Play for set pieces where we've got a bit more strength in depth. We're going to slow the pace down when we get the ball. and we're going to drop our line of engagement. So we're a little bit more compact in the middle of the pitch, trying to stop them playing with the likes of Foden in there. 4 minutes added on, it would be a great result, but it could get better. Not with a ball like that from Kamara. We've just seen why he's gone from first choice to third choice in a year. As Van der Vaart throws out to Gvardiol, don't let it cost us the game. Not a reserve player getting a rare few minutes. Papetu brings it forward. Wouldn't even be in the squad if Yukalano was fit. And it might cost us the match. I've just got a feeling about it. Shirky cuts it into Gramoso. 2 in the middle. There's quality there, but the ball's over the bar. And the unbeaten run, I think, is going to continue. What a fabulous result. We were second best for the most part, but most people are away at the champions. We've picked up another draw. We've shown our goal threat on the break again. And we go into the Bayern match full of confidence. I've now got to decide whether I keep the first team out and risk fatigue against Fulham because I want to keep the unbeaten run going. Or do I rest everyone and trust that one game won't change everything and we need to try and push in the Premier League because we should get through in Europe anyway. And if we can get in a top 8 of our own accord in the Premier League, we get European football every year. And that now has to be the aim. Yes, we're in 4th place. Yes, it looks great. Bayern United, though, is very tight. And with, 2 defeats, we could drop 5 points. We'll be down to 11th place. It could change that quickly. Let's get through to the midweek game. I'll make my decision on team selection in a minute. Well, it's fitness test time, and I've sort of had my warning before I've even played this week because I was kind of edging towards the first team. Then I saw that Joe Wills had a fitness test. I saw that Teddy Ivanov picked up a tight hamstring after a heavy match load, and I thought, you know what, we've got to be sensible here. So I've made the decision, I'm going to rotate. I'm looking ahead to the next games, and it's not quite so bad. This one, we obviously had a big effort as City. We've got Fulham 3 days later. The next one with Dinamo Kiev, we've actually got 5 days off after, so I can be a little bit more aggressive with that. And if we need to in the Besiktas game, do you know what? I'll trust us a little bit more there. Hopefully at home to Brighton, we can get a couple of goals up and maybe rest a few anyway, as they're bottom of the table. So for now, let's get through to the fixtures against Bayern, the club we're managing at this present time in the head coach. But there are not many names that are familiar there. The only one that we've got in that save is the Lig still. The rest of it, they've pretty much rotated and moved on here. We've not had the same luxury in our save. There are a couple of names we know though. Querfeld in that head coach save we managed at Marseille. It's a world-class centre-half. And Tell up front is a top player. There's a few bits of youth and quality there too. Bayern have produced some great players in this save. So let's see the 11 we can put out that will be rotated, but it'll be there to do a job and try and defend a draw. Now, obviously, going into today's game, we are a little bit light on the bench because there were 3 or 4 players we couldn't fit in our Champions League squad. The likes of Edozie would have been very useful today, but it's not to be. Teddy Ivanov and Yukalano not risked. They can stay at home. And I think, bar the goalkeeper, it's a full rotation. I think all the other 10 did not start at the weekend. Most of those are on the bench and most have a heavy match load, so I wouldn't expect many of them to come on today even. But this is the 11 we've gone for. And actually, when you look at it, it shows how far we've come because 3 of the back 4 were last season's first choice. The other is a new signing. We've got the improving duo up front. Mauricio is now as good as the first choice players. He's absolutely flying. In midfield, you've got Sam Ammo, who was first choice until last January. Berek was first choice a lot of last year. And Asensio was rotating right back with Baranda. So it is pretty much a team that has been first choice here in the last couple of years. And that shows you how strong we've got. With Sadler in goal, Baranda and De Angelis, the fullbacks, Williams and Parker reunited in the middle. Asensio doing a job on the right of midfield. He will drop to a support duty. With Sam Ammo over on the left. Berek and Harrison are 2 in the middle. With Mauricio and Jensen up front. If we need to, we could drop Mauricio into a number 10 role. Just be a bit more stern in midfield. But for now, I think we've just got to play the way we're used to. And see if we can shock the odds. Because while this team may not be as good as the one we played at the weekend, it's fresh. And if Bayern aren't, it could be difficult for us. Oh, this is a proper kick in the teeth, isn't it? Let's have a look at this and laugh. Because Nagelsmann is in charge of Bayern again. But after all of the problems we've had there in the head coach, if you're following that save, you'll know what I'm talking about here. They have got a full bench, including a number of first team players. Oh, it's a kick in the teeth, isn't it? It really is. Let's get through the dressing room. Let's prove a point. Come on, lads. You've been doing well recently. We're going to put Asensio to a support duty. Not going to do too much more yet. I don't want to sort of encourage the lads that a point is a good result. But I guess they'll kind of get it from the team selection anyway. And hopefully they'll play with that in mind. We're into the first half, and as long as we can keep this 0-0, I'm a happy man. We're now going for a defensive display, despite our poor defensive record, taking inspiration from AC Milan's trip to us a little while ago. The good news though, it was a quiet first quarter of an hour, but now we're back with Bayern on the ball. And the goalkeeper's playing halfway inside his half, so he knows that there's not much threat going forward. And yes, Teddy Ivanov would have been a great player to have on the bench today. But they're playing that back three, and against two strikers, we might be able to get in, especially if we can get the wingers up there as well. For now though, it's Sanduka to Almada. Good football from Bayern. They're in behind. It's a great run. And he kept his line as well. Is that Baranda at the back post just lost his man? It is. That's why he's not first choice anymore. Just not quite got the same quality, have we? And encourage the lads. It's only 1-0. Try and get their morale back because they were a little deflated there. We've only faced that one shot on target. It's not been a bad effort so far. And we're back with half an hour on the clock with De Angelis at the other end of the pitch. Plays a 1-2 with Sam Ammo. We know we can score late goals if we stay in this game. So it's back to Harrison on the edge of the box. And it's 1-1 via Alfie Harrison. Been a big part of our Premier League story so far. He scores a great goal there. Celebration, I have no idea what he's doing. With 10 minutes to the break, one shot on target each, one goal apiece. And we're doing the job with this backup team in Europe. The fresh legs are starting to get on top. As Sadler has got a goal kick, goes big and long downfield. Mauricio flicks down for Jensen, both over 6 foot, but we can't do much with that. And the Lig gets the ball across again. Here is Zurich to Almada. You would expect Bayern to come out on top, but I just want to keep it competitive. With Dinamo Kiev and Besiktas to come, that should be 4 points minimum. And with 11, I would expect us to get through. As the Lig picks the ball up, carries it forward. Mora picks it to Baranda. Well done from Parker. And Sadler with a chance to get it away. Almost caught in possession, but we play out nicely. And Asensio looks for Mauricio. That's where it all goes wrong. Famous last words. Was that offside for Tell? Hits the post anyway. And it's a goal kick. It was given us on. But we'll take this result at the moment. Valencia beating Dinamo Kiev by 5. I'd be upset if we can't beat them. But let's tell the lads to keep it up. 1-1 is a fabulous effort here. We could come out of these 2 games unbeaten. What an outcome it would be, honestly. We've gone past the hour mark, and if you look at the shots on target, not the XG, we are the better team. Of course, they have had a couple of very good ones, but we're hanging on in there. We're doing all right. And we will think about changes in a minute. We can go a bit more aggressive now. Bring on attack at Zuka. Try and chase the game. As Rahman picks it up to Mora. We might be behind before we do so, though. Amsfield in. It's a really good finish. Again, we'll encourage the lads. I think now we'll go and make some changes as well. We're going to bring off De Angelis, who was just returning from injury, for Ishmael. O'Day will come on for the booked Parker. I'm going to take off both wingers and Jensen, I think. Joe Will's on alongside Mauricio. They're very good, those two. Sam Ammo off for Adamson. Takatsuka on for Asensio. Now let's go and chase this bloody game, shall we? Get the winger on attack. Go back to what we know. We love a late goal, but we're 2-1 down. And we're bringing on players with a heavy match load. This could go either way. Well, despite me saying I'm a bit worried, we're straight up the other end with Takatsuka to Harrison, the scorer. Adamson's in. Is that a foul? Doesn't matter. Wills carries on. Back to Adamson and wide. Oh, he's just not had the best start here. But that was a moment where he could have been the hero. I'm not sure it wasn't a penalty before, you know. But we are very much still in this game. And that chance was point in case. Though they are at the other end here, Bayern with Mora. Chance to shoot from the edge. Deflects. Good save from Sadler. Changed direction at the last second, that. And he managed to react in time as it's a corner kick for Bayern with Almada. We've got to be very careful to keep the difference just 1 here. And then we've got a chance late on. Sadler claims the corner well. He's had a good game again. Not rated well, but from everything we've seen, he's done well. As it's in towards the leg from a set piece. And it's headed wide. The lads are a little bit deflated at the minute. Can we just get a bit of encouragement in at one last go? 10 minutes remaining. Bayern have just about edged it as City did last time out. But we've been competitive with some of the best sides in Europe in these 2 matches. And that is exactly what I'm excited about. Yes, we rotated here. We expected to lose, but we gave them a better game than I thought we would. And after a draw against City, to give it a good effort against Bayern. I think we're starting to reach that level. We've just got to keep hold of this team and keep them growing together. We've got a number of young players. We've got a really good squad. And while Bayern move on to 12 points, we're still sitting pretty happy on 7. And if we can beat Dinamo and Besiktas, who have both got no points in the next 2 games, we'll be on 13 and through. And at that point, we have to say it's been a brilliant year. Let's go and have a look at the schedule for a minute. It's going to be back. We should be in good form now because we've got everyone rested for Fulham. Then we've got an international break. And the fixtures pretty nicely spread out until we get to that week of Newcastle, Norwich and Brighton. We're going to be back slightly later than that though, because I want to win a big domestic trophy. If we can get through against Chelsea in the Carabao and win that, just takes all the pressure off a top 8 finish and gives us a trophy too. There are a few big boys left in it. Everton and City are both Champions League sides. Liverpool and Arsenal are both traditionally huge sides. But if we can get through, maybe get the winner of West Ham Wolves, you never know. In the final, we could have a chance. So we'll be back for that quarter-final. I say that like we're going to beat Chelsea. They played us off the park in a league game. We were lucky to hit them on the break. And either side of that, we've got West Ham or Sheffield United. We'll pick the most appropriate for the situation. For now, though, if you did enjoy this one, 2 really good performances, actually, against 2 of the biggest sides in the world. And please do put a thumbs up on the video. The unbeaten domestic form continues with that big draw against City. But do you think it will still be going when we next return? I worry a bit because Everton away, a game that we've always struggled with against one of the best sides in England in this save. But if you want to stay up to date and find out how we get on, subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We'll be back here in a couple of days' time with more action from Southend United. But between now and then, we've got a thrilling climax to a bizarre season in the head coach. It will lead to an experiment because of what I perceive to be a glitch, but we'll find out whether or not we can still succeed without it. It is with Bayern Munich, the club that just beat us in this save, and Matthias de Ligt, the one player that you'll recognise if you pop over there. We'll be back with that tomorrow before this returns in 2 days' time. But there's lots more happening elsewhere too. On the Twitch channel, we've got regular live streams, and on the football podcast, it's predictions galore as we head towards the end of the season and the playoffs across all the divisions. You can find those links up in the eye above. Thank you very much for checking them out. And I'll see you back here in a couple of days' time as we look to make it to a cup semi-final and try and win our first domestic cup trophy after getting a European one last season.